Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 17th of June 2020. Today we are going to continue marching through the pairs. I actually have already recorded this video but realized that I forgot to press the blasted record button. So I had a few moments of the screaming of profanities, and I've cooled down, and now I'm back to redo everything for you. So I think I was 30 minutes into it, and I was all the way down to the euro. Where are we? I was down past the euro Aussie, so that was a real blow. I did the euro franc, but I'm not going to do that again because we already did that yesterday anyway, so you can have a look at yesterday's video for that. So we'll start on the Aussie Japanese Yen. Oh, that was a real blow. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, here we have on the monthly chart, we have the beginning of the sell zone, which is just here. It's been tested. It was established here. It was tested. We had another test, and the area of supply above this sell zone is just here. So I am looking to sell at this point here and lower. You can see it lines up nicely with this area the software is finding for us. This should be a daily chart here. Okay, and then we have, let me show you what that looks like. It looks like here and here. As a matter of fact, we could actually adjust this, and we could say, well, price has already been back to this place, the slingshot, been pulled back, so we could refine it and we could put it up to here, which is what we'll do. So that is the spot where I'm looking to sell this pair at the moment. Can't believe I rambled on for half an hour recording nothing. So this is what we have just here. This is a really nice area. I also like the departure here, so I might even do something like that, because this is where it originated from. We left, we moved sideways, and we continued our march south. Okay, and this is also nested within this weekly area just above price here. Okay, so let's go on to the euro British pound. So the euro British pound looks like it's looking to move higher, and if the reason I say this is because we had this demand established. The buy zone was established, price poked into that, and now we're moving higher. We're just kind of having a tough time moving above these price points above price. Okay, and so I mean, for the time being, I'd say that we are maybe looking to move a little bit higher, just judging by what I can see here on the monthly chart. Okay, price moved up. We tested the beginning of these sell zones. We came back, we pulled into this weekly area of demand, and then we left. And so, I mean, we have reason to believe that this may continue higher. Also, the fact that prices move lower, we moved sideways, and then we left, and now we're moving sideways again. So now we're accumulating. So sell side is distributing liquidity, the buy side is accumulating liquidity positions to move price higher. And so, I mean, this looks like we're probably going to continue moving higher from here. But then you ask, well, where are we going to continue from? Well, we had this area, which I liked. Deja vu. I feel like I've already done this. We had this area, which is interesting. This is not supply, but it is a price sensitive area because price tested it once, twice. On the third time we sat on it and then we cut through it. So the new area is here. Okay, so price left the area from this point. We have not been back to that area there. Excuse me. Okay, we've removed it, and now price tried to come down to it. We failed, and now we're kind of figuring out what we want to do. So this could be an interesting area to buy from here, the 0.88, 50-ish area from around that price point, I think. Alternatively, we have all of this mess kind of tests. We had this area here. We had this kind of price point that released from roughly the point where this was consumed, and the origin of that move is down here, and this resides nicely within that that monthly area just down here. So we'd be trading the base of that, and so I like that a lot. So we have a look on the 4-hour chart. We've tested this area. Okay, we're still kind of stuck between those areas, and if you look at this, you can see that we do have a point of departure, which is from here. How price left here, we moved up, we moved sideways, then we moved up again. This I do not believe will hold any tests. I think price will come through this and move down to this better formed area of demand from around here. I think this is a pretty interesting spot. where we could see price come down to. This is the 87, 85 area from here. Yeah, so I think that could be interesting. If we scroll back and we look, you can see that we do also have some departure points here. We had this area, price tested it, we rallied, we moved sideways, we rallied, we have a bunch of continuation patterns away from that area. So if we mark off the low, we've been down, this is the low of it, we tested this, the beginning of the buy zone is actually here, which is in this one here. So this has been tested, so I wouldn't consider that. We do have this here, which is maybe a little bit messy, but the slingshot was pulled back to here, to this accumulation candle. And then we have the one that really sticks out as looking nice is this one here. I think this is interesting just because of the way, just because of the way price left. The only reason I don't like that is because price has already been back to this price point here. And so this brings us to this one just here, which I think is quite interesting. So there are a few areas that we could consider. I'll just pop these on there so that you can look at them. We have this one, and we have this one. It's like the cutaway. This has been tested, and so we have this one here that the software found. So we do have a few areas that might look interesting. The 80. We have this one here, the 85-20 area. We have these two down here. So these could be interesting. They could provide a bit of a trading opportunity. And again, this is just me going through my analysis out loud. This is not investment advice. I'm not telling you to do this. If you do anything, it's your own decision to do so. This is just me kind of rambling, doing my my analysis out loud. That's it. Okay, let's go on to the Euro Japanese Yen. So what's this one doing? Well, this one, we had demand, we had a buy zone, and we've tested the buy zone, and now we've moved above this high. So this is telling us that we have a commitment to move north. But before we make any assumptions about that, you also have to notice that we had this low, we had this area here, which was tested by this one here. We moved below this low, and now so this becomes a sell zone, and price is poked into that sell zone. And what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that we have visited the opposite side of the market, and so we want to be careful about buying too high. So you want to be buying a lot lower. So in a situation like that, you want to be looking at the very bottom of the buy zone, or tests of the buy zone. Alternatively, you want to be looking at the beginning of the sell zone, which brings our attention to this just here. This could be an interesting one. Okay, still untested. This is the area of supply. Okay, that this sell zone is related to, and so I'm thinking pokes up into the 125.27 area. This is a monthly trade, of course. It could be interesting, and pushes down into the very bottoms of these, or lower would be quite an interesting potential trade. Let me go to the weekly chart and have a look what that looks like. We had this one here. This is the buy zone, tested once, twice, but because when price came here, we left and we started to consume liquidity above price. Here, well, I'm thinking that price may continue drifting higher. Okay, and so we can begin to consider the area just down here that is responsible for moving all of this micro supply just in here. We have a look on the daily chart what that might look like, but we need to find these areas that consumed other areas. Here we have something. Okay, we have a couple of things here. Let's do this carefully. So we have something in here. I can't see what it is, but I'll just mark it off like this. It was tested, price rallied, moved sideways, slingshot was pulled back, then we left. This is the area that did it. The origin of the move is down here. So this is where I think price will come back to. But there are also areas above price, and this I say because we had this one here. This is distribution, slingshot, tested. Price went through. The area that did it is this one here, just here. So this is also an interesting area. Okay, and I take this one because we have an accumulation candle. When price left the accumulation candle, we closed above it, as well as the area of supply that this tested. Okay, so this is interesting, 118.45. This one here is a little bit too close to price. I'd prefer to be in an area where price kind of had to work a little bit. And if you look at this, we had accumulation, departure. So here at the, what does that say, 119.63, that could also be an interesting price point on the euro Japanese yen. But I think that this is gonna continue moving higher. But this could also be interesting. The reason I am less interested in this is because price has kind of already been around there. But I like the fact that price left from this area quite aggressively, so we could maybe kind of do something like this. We want to find the low. Yeah, that's the low of it, and that could be interesting, and maybe dig into that on the 4-hour chart. So if we looked at that, you think this is kind of the middle of nowhere. Where do we have the demand below that? The demand below that is just here. So I would prefer this one here. I like that much better, because the cutaway originates from here. This is where it comes from. We had a continuation pattern. This has already been tested, so the buy zone now becomes the low of the decrease retracement since the establishment of this. So this is the area that I would be keen to look at. This is also nice, so we could have shorter term trades here, so scalping opportunities, but I don't like all of this here. Price can easily move through this until we find stuff that looks like this. This is muscle flexing, shirt tearing strength. Okay, so this is maybe more of my cup of tea. So that's what I have to say about the euro Japanese yen. Let me clear these charts off. If we have a look at the euro Canadian dollar, what do we have? Wow, well, we had this area of demand that was established, just a very nice U formation. Price came down, we established the buy zone, price tested it once, we went a little bit deeper, and this is where we left. Okay, and so now on the weekly chart you can see we have enormous strength, and it's all standing on this little leg just here. And when price leaves like this, you want to look for trails of or signs of liquidity being distributed in the leg up, and choose those that are a little bit closer to those price points where price had to struggle to move above. And you can see we have that right here. We zoom in, we had, just going to mark it off like this, had something like this, tested, and it all came to something in here. Let's just mark this off. I don't know what this is. So this is the 148.30, 148.40. So we go here and we have a look at the 148.40. Where is it? 148.40. It's probably around. I can't see anything. Let's try this. I can't see. 148.40, 148. This is where it is. 148.40. And so looking at this, this is a mess. Where do we have less mess? That is here. That's below price. But I don't like this very much. What I prefer is this. So we had an accumulation candle, we had rally, accumulation, departure, and so we have this one just here. The software found it, so I'd probably be keen to buy from the low of the pullback, and my stop below here somewhere. Let's have a look. Yeah, that would look like that. Let's just flick that onto the monthly, see where we are within the context of the big picture. And you can see we're very low in this buy zone, so I like that actually quite a lot. So I go back to the daily chart, and as you may have seen in yesterday's video where we discussed fractals, even though price leaves on a monthly chart, if we look at this, we go to the monthly chart, price leaves and you think, oh man, it's never going to come back. It always comes back. It has to come back. Okay, so even these enormous price points where we had this high and then price just flew, it went south for years, and people think it's never going to come back. You know what? I will eat my hat if it doesn't come back to this price point at some stage. It has to come back. Okay, because this is just the way the distribution of liquidity works. Okay, it has to come back, and it will eventually come back to this. We've already made it back to the origin of the move that caused price to move lower, just here, and so the origin of this move is up here. So we're probably going to begin to wriggle up into this price inefficiency. Not price inefficiency. These are these sell zones that are above price. Okay, and so this is just something to remember. Price always comes back. You just have to be patient. And we have this one down here. So you might ask, price is never going to come back. It will. Maybe we'll have to wait quite a long time. We don't know, but maybe not. So what we need to do is we need to find that beautiful entry on the smaller time frame. So we find that low, which is here. You can find that low here, and looking on this, I mean, this doesn't look very interesting. So this looks to me like we have reaction to demand and not actual demand. Okay, so I'd be inclined to look left if I have enough data. Okay, so this is where we should be looking. So this is much further below price. I am going to change to a one chart configuration so that I can just skip through them. Also, my internet here in the jungle in Bali is so poor that it takes a long time for the software to contact the license server, slowing things down. Okay, so if we have a look at this, first of all, I mean, this is a beautiful area just here. This is a beautiful kind of U formation, how price, the slingshots pull back and then we leave. This is gorgeous. Price tried to get there, but we failed. We had a buy zone. We tested it here. We tested it here. We went a little bit deeper to here, and then we left. Okay, so this is an interesting area. This is a stunning area. This is a reaction to this. Okay, and so I would be keen on buying at this area just here. Just here. Okay, just change to another chart setup. And you can see this is the one just down here, and so price will eventually get back down there. So what you could do in the meantime, I'll just flick this on. This is, let's go like this, put it to 1.5. This is just an order entry utility I have. Go like this. We'll kind of flick this on, and then we have this area, which I think is pretty interesting, and I would be keen to move the entry to this area here, which is much more attractive to me. Okay, so that's what we have there on that one. Again, it's a longer term trade, but that's fine. We have all the time in the world. Go to the euro, Australian dollar. Then you think like, well, what's going on here? Well, if you look at this and I ask you what does this look like? You would think like, well, this is actually a lot of buy zones being tested numerous times, a lot of demand being tested numerous times, and you're right. And so this tells us that price will have an easy time moving through this, and it'll probably move down to an area of demand or a buy zone that is fresh or has not yet been tested. Okay, and you can see that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The price is going to have a very easy time moving through this. Okay, so we go to the monthly. Let's have a look what it looks like on the monthly chart. You can see, I mean, price is going to tear through this very easily, and what we are looking to do maybe is establish a little bit of supply above price. If this happens on this distribution candle here, if we manage to close below this candle here, well, then we have a really nice place to sell. So then let's just mark this off like this. So we have it. Good. And then we go down to the weekly, and we'll keep walking down to the smaller time frames and try and find a nice area to sell. So we have this one, big push. This one sat on it and cut through it. So something in here, remove this. This is important. So I'm going to move this to here. Okay, we have the sell zone just up there. I'm just going to mark that off. Good, and then we go down to the daily. What do we have? So we have, here we have a parent, we have a child. Okay, the child was removed very quickly, and this one, you see how price tested the parent once, twice, and on the third attempt it managed to go through. Okay, and so this is telling us that the beginning of the sell zone is higher. Okay, so it's higher. So I'm going to remove this. Oops, lost my line, no worries. And then I want to look at this and say, is this an interesting area? And the answer is no, it's not terribly interesting. Why? Because price has already been back down back up to this price level here, 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 and here. So this is traded out, this is thinned out. So I'm going to mark off the high of this. I'm going to mark off this. This is a clue right in here. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I'm going to find that really delicious area that really jumps out at us. And we can see it right here. This is where it is. We have this one just here. This is an interesting area. I like this a lot because this is mess, this is sell zone, this is supply. Okay, so I'm going to mark this off like this. This could be an interesting area to sell at. Around here, I'm just going to mark off this whole big area here. And then we need to ask ourselves, well, where did this have to really try, the price really have to try to remove something over here? And you can see that we actually had a buy zone here. Okay, tested, and now it's gone. The origin of the move that went through this is here. This is the origin of the move that went through it. Price tested the origin of the move. It went through this continuation pattern, this child into this older sibling. This is a test of this, so this is just telling us that these are all children. The supply, the parent, is just up here. So this would be a more interesting place to get involved with. Okay, so that's what we have there. Let me move this like that. Go to the daily chart. We can see if there's anything above price. Okay, so I can see this is a pretty interesting area, so I'm just going to flick this on. I'm going to lob in that order, and then I'm going to move it up to where I would expect price to stop, which is around here. Good, so I remove all of these, those are gone, and this is where we have a more interesting area. Okay, we also have an interesting area here, which is higher. Here we had tests. This area caused price to remove it, so maybe before we get too excited, we might want to look here. Come on. And you can see it looks like this. Okay, this is the area just here. How we have a parent, a child, tested it. This is the area here. Price went to leave. And so you could get excited about maybe trading up at around this area here. We'll give this one a shot, and if this one fails, then maybe we'll have a look at the one above. Alternatively, we could do something where we widen the stop, reduce the position size, and put the stop over the top of this, but we'll leave it like this for the time being. I can see I have internet problems because the license server is not being reached. And my battery is running out once again. Okay, so I think I am going to leave it at this for the time being. We have a few things to look at. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments or in the Discord channel, and I will continue on once my battery is charged and hopefully the internet is a little bit better. But I'll just continue moving down through these pairs here and these commodities. Thanks again for watching.